Hey guys, this is Ushanev over on Brook with some operative action for you. Here's the gear if you're interested. Probably have to hit pause to see anything. Hopefully the resolution is alright. There is the skill setup. Incisive action is the only thing that's a little bit different from a typical concealment op. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. The reason that I'm posting this video is because I've heard a lot of frustration about Huttball in general, and particularly from operatives because we don't have a gap closer, and how it's extremely frustrating getting knocked off platforms, and basically how it's impossible to be effective as an operative in Huttball. So this is hopefully a counterexample, showing you maybe a little bit about how to use the operative in ways that you might not have thought. Number one thing about the beginning opening of Huttball is cleaning the sorks off the platforms. There's always going to be somebody up here, usually a sork, trying to pull. That's what I'm doing here. Unfortunately, I'm not 100% successful. The sork still manages to pull the ball carrier up, which is really rather impressive. I probably should have gone ahead and killed the sork, but I elect to go after the ball carrier here. Unfortunately, I'm a little too slow. I do pop hidden strike, but it's the shadow, and he already has his immunity to tech and force up. So someone does manage to pull him back. Unfortunately, they just sort of overwhelm us here on this opening play. Now, one of the reasons I like this first video is because it shows some of the limitations of the operative. So it's not just us face rolling another team. Here we are in the penalty box, powerless to stop them. Kind of frustrating. I thought this was going to be a tough match after this opening volley. But we managed to turn the tide, and it turns out to be a fun one, although close. So I'll take a little moment here to talk about why I like incisive action. Not only does it give you an extra chance to proc extra TAs, when you put the 2 points into it, it's a 100% chance every time you fire off Colto injection. It also lowers the time on Colto injection by half a second, which almost makes it useful, especially in Huttball, when you often only need 1 or 2 heals to keep a ball carrier up long enough to pass. Here, it's pretty clear we're going to score, so I'm in mid, camping the ball spawn. I'm going to pop a group mez here, flashbang, and then make the pass up to Hems here. Flashbang is one of the absolute necessities to use frequently as an operative, and it's not really for defense. It fills resolve bars too much to be used on ball carriers. It's much more useful when you are either on offense or are trying to grab the ball from the spawn. I managed to fire off a heal there onto Hems, but there were just too many from the other team wailing on him. But it did allow our team a few extra seconds to get back and play some defense. Use combat stealth there because it's absolutely necessary to be stealth here so I don't get jumped to. Turns out there's a shadow with the ball, but I'm not really sure who has the... Okay. So there's really too many of us back here playing defense, even though we managed to stop them right here. It's not worth it because there are not enough of us back in mid to grab the ball if we need to. There was a Guardian with the ball there. I assume his force leap was down. Otherwise, we might have been in trouble. But as I was saying about flashbang, it's incredibly useful on offense. When it comes to defense, it's going to be Severed Tendon is going to be your go-to ability. 1, because it has a cooldown of only 12 seconds, and 2, because it's not dependent on the resolve bar. Here I use stealth to get into good position. Damag's going to make a nice pass to enemy. And we'll just walk it in. I probably should have waited a few seconds to give the team a chance to get back to mid. As you can see, the Rotworms, or excuse me, the Frog Dogs got the ball back. There's a sniper here giving me a lot of trouble. They did get a buff in the last minor patch, and I've definitely been feeling it. I don't know about anybody else. Here's a point where I probably should have just gone back mid, because as you can see, the pubs are very well positioned here, and this narrowly avoid embarrassment there. Falling off the platform would not have been very fun. They just had too many, and there was really no way to stop that one. So should have been back mid much sooner. As you can see, Hems managed to grab the ball there, but we don't have enough assistance in mid to help him out, so they get it back. They pass over here to the healer. Interesting play. I go ahead and open on him, even though it fills the resolve bar. He's far enough away from the fire that he's either going to run out of resolve or we'll be able to burn him down in time. And we do. I make a really quick pass here to Demic, just in time to avoid giving the ball back to them. Kind of proud of that one. Looks like I had some text box issues there. I didn't really see that happen, but it must have. Here I go ahead and drop down because it looks like we're going to score, and I'm trying to grab the ball, but it turns out they managed to, I think, pull the ball carrier into the fire. So we're going to go back and try to play defense. Thought I was going to get a chance to destroy this ball carrier, but he gets saved by a really timely pull by that Sork. And here, I believe he's going to jump. Yeah, he manages to jump to Soya over there. I'm sure Soya would rather have that one back. At this point, we correctly go back towards mid because there's pretty much no way to stop that tank. Now you'll notice here that while I'm camping mid, I'm not right on the spawn point because usually someone's going to run up and either pop a knockback or a mez. So I stand a little further back and I'm able to use Dazzle Grenade, or whatever it is, Flashbang, to good effect. Demic makes a nice pass up to Hems. And we're back on offense, in a pretty good position. I spot the shadow there. I do have the extra 2 points in scouting. Demic pops predation here, and we should score. I've got the extra points in scouting, which I find to be pretty useful. It's questionable. I could easily put those 2 points into the damage bonus on Shiv instead, but locating other stealthers is sort of one of the responsibilities if you are a stealther. So for now, they're still in stealth detection. Soya makes a great pull there, isolating a squishy ball carrier that we're able to burn down. Demic jumps up, but then gets knocked back. Demic gets disoriented here. He winds up going the wrong direction. Happens to the best of us. It's definitely happened to me. So we're going to run around here with like chickens with our heads cut off. Not exactly sure what's going on. Dawes wasted a pull there, trying to pull me into the fire. Not quite sure why. Probably would have better been used elsewhere. And here's another point where we correctly go back mid because there's no way to stop those 4 players on the upper platform. Often I'll just stay in stealth and camp the spawn, but at this point they only have 1 squishy defender. So I go ahead and open, ball comes over to help out, and we're able to burn him down. Demic's over here too. I'm going to move up. They do in fact score. I'm going to move up, get in position. The shadow almost grabs the ball there, but Demic is able to get it from him. Pops predation. Predation is definitely an extremely powerful skill in Huttball, with the possible exception of the jugs, force leap and then force push and then another force leap. It may well be the most powerful in the game. Often I'll go ahead and make the pass here to Maddie, but my CC break is up, so I go ahead and just run it. Instead of scoring right away, I run over here to the side to give our team a chance to get back to mid. The other team was definitely controlling mid quite well. or attempting to control mid quite well in this game. Not always successfully. We were battling for it pretty hard too. Maddie and I are both in pretty good position here. Ideally, as a stealther, you don't want to stand next to someone who's uncloaked because someone's going to run up and get a lucky knockback on both of you at once. But hard to ignore the position of being on the upper mid there. Hay gets knocked back, but he makes the pass over to, I'm not sure who that is, but a teammate. Debilitate there gives me the chance to get open. Looks like Becken was hoping to pop his CC break at exactly the right moment so he could knock me off the edge and get the intercept, but he misjudges the timing a little bit. And here I'm buying more time, again, for our team to get back towards mid, since I've got a full resolve bar. When the scoundrel opened on me, I chickened out and just ran it in. Didn't want to be embarrassed. Now, in this case, they have 3 of their guys on their own ledge trying to kill me, which they should not be doing. They definitely want to be back towards mid. You can see here that even though they get the ball, too much of their team is stuck in the middle of their territory. Their offensive here is just, they don't have enough support, and the guy's going to die. Here I decide to drop down towards mid. I assume he's going to turf it, but it turns out that he either gets stunned or just wasn't fast enough, and he winds up dying. So we get the ball back directly. I would have used Mez on those 2, but instead I'm running back towards their goal. Turns out it's a little premature to be all the way in their end zone. So I'm going to have to run back and try to get into a better position here. So I'll use the lull here to talk a little bit about the real tools that the operative has. Here I get embarrassed. He spots me, and I do not get the drop on him like I should have. I decide to go over here and make sure that this Sork is not unbothered. Now again, if the jug had jumped to me, this might have been a score, so we got a little lucky there. Good knockback there by Soya. We get the ball. I'm going to pass it over here. Now, Soya decides he's going to run back and try to grab the health buff. I think if he had to do it over again, he would have passed it up to Demick, because he's taking a big risk. And he turns out not getting the health buff. Maddie makes a clutch Sork grab there. If Soya had wound up back on our platform, he probably would have died, and they probably would have scored. I think I wound up voting Maddie MVP because of that grab. Demick makes a great pass here, nice and quick. I go ahead and pop stun grenade, but a little too slow. Not the greatest knockback there. You should have positioned that better. Demick does pop predation, but I get slowed. But he gives himself a great position. There's the pass. Doesn't look like it went off, but it did. They managed to pull him down. They're just in bad position here. There are too many of them are in the pit. The group mez is down, but I do have debilitate. I can go ahead and do that. Demick makes the next pass. And that's the game. So as you can see, there's actually another game after this one that's less dramatic, less exciting, I guess. We stomped them, basically. Feel free to watch that one. It's another. I enjoyed it. It's another sort of demonstration of some of the operative abilities. Now, obviously, not every game is going to be 14,000 objective points, and that one involves some luck. But the operative, there's my spec again. The operative is not completely useless in Huttball. Now, the other criticism is that the operative is basically just a not quite as good version of the assassin or shadow. And kind of embarrassing there, I get caught by the fire. I don't totally agree. for two reasons. One, because of the heals, which can be quite useful in Huttball, and two, the severed tendon. Here I'm going to have to go ahead and open on a tank, even though I don't really like it, because he knew I was there. It turns out he's going to push me back here. I can't burn it down fast enough. Normally I don't open on tanks for that very reason, but I felt like I didn't have much choice. I do wind up getting a lucky air vent here, which is always nice. Pop combat stealth, which I use liberally in Huttball, and I managed to get back in time to stop the ball carrier, to help stop the ball carrier. And I throw the ball away before something embarrassing happens. Right there was a great demonstration of something that the assassin does not have. The severed tendon, which is, here I mez this guy, and he wastes a CC break. It's kind of silly. The severed tendon, which is a root, well, when it's talented, and almost every concealment op is going to talent into it. It's a 2-second root, and I think a 8-second slow. The slow is not that important. The root is great because it's not dependent on resolve, which is fantastic for Huttball because it comes up every 12 seconds, and it's one of the skills you'll be using over and over again. You should use it every time it's up, even when someone is not on top of a hot plate, a fire pit, whatever you want to call it. Just because it does not raise resolve, it's not dependent on resolve, and it comes up so frequently. Here I tell Bald to pass it up to me. My positioning is not great. I should be across the fire. So I kind of have to stand here and do nothing for 5 seconds. But it works out. I say that it works out. Here I try to pass it to a cloaked assassin. Bald saves the day. I was headed back towards the ball spawn because I thought it was going to be an incomplete pass, but Bald managed to get under it and continue to play. So I'm going to try to get back in position. But yeah, I cannot overstate how important it is to use severed tendon whenever it's up. It's pretty clearly going to score here, so I decided to head back to mid. Sharuk grabs the ball with a nice knockback. I think Cause pulled him over the acid right as he was getting knocked down, so that's what caused that visual effect. Here I outrun the play. I didn't realize how much trouble the ball carrier was in. Sorry about that, Sharuk. I should have stayed further back. But mistakes happen. So I go ahead and drop down here, going to try to get into position to get a pass from Bald. Someone runs right past me here, not advisable. She was focused too much on the ball carrier. I'm able to make the pass up to, I think that's Soya up there. And he's going to score. Definitely important to cover receivers. Let's see here. I mez this guy, and I'm calling for a pass over here. It looks like Sharuk gets stunned, and he can't pass it until a few seconds later, and a sentinel manages to jump to me and intercept. And if my indignity were not complete, I get knocked into the box. But to reiterate, the three big things that the operatives have that assassins do not. One, the group mez. Two, the spammable root. Here I go ahead and burn this guy down so he can't catch a pass. By the time I'm finished killing him, we have the ball back, so I should have left him, but again, mistakes happen. The spammable root, the group mez, and healing. Obviously, you're not going to out-heal anyone specialized into it. There, having stealth was really nice, so I didn't get pulled back. You're not going to put up huge healing numbers, but you don't have to. You're putting up heals exactly where they're needed, like on a ball carrier. Here, Ball makes a fantastic pass, positioned exactly where it's supposed to be, and we get robbed by BioWare. Thanks a lot. So the server somehow rules that guy as being closer to the center of that pass than I was, although from my perspective, and obviously lag can give different perspectives, he was never closer to the center of the pass than I was. Oh well, I guess I can just cry about it. So I get knocked back here. I do manage to root the tank there, but I am rooted myself, and I can't get close enough to also use Debilitate and trap him in the fire. Not much to be done here except go back mid. Once they have a tank on the rafters, it's pretty much game over. So we head back mid like we should. I'm positioning myself for a pass here. And they do in fact score. Giroud grabs the ball. I would have liked for him to pass up to me, seeing as there's two guys in his way on the lower platform. But he goes ahead and runs it forward. Winds up in the pit, and so I get over here to the ledge. I managed to stun one guy, and I would have mezzed the other. Global cooldown was just a little bit too long, and he manages to push me off the edge before I can throw the stun grenade. Not stun grenade. Dazzle grenade. But we do make the pass and score the point. So he gets the ball, makes a nice, really quick pass over the ball. That's the skill that you really need to develop to be good at Huttball. Quick passes and passing on the run and leading your receiver. All skills that you want to practice. Ball makes a nice pass up to me. I should have been healing him sooner. Don't know why I wasn't. Here a Marauder jumps to me, the supposed unbeatable class. But it shows off the limitations here of the Marauder. I managed to get his shield up, and he doesn't have a knockback. So even though it's a very powerful class, even in Huttball, he doesn't have much of a way to stop me on that final platform. Giving credit where credit is due, Cause also, I think it was Cause, put a static barrier on me right at the end, which was a nice touch. Again, their tank has the ball up on a platform. We probably can't stop them here. I believe we go back mid. Oh, did they actually stop him? Oh, they did. I swear, guys. Look for this pass. When you get the ball back, where Adelise is right now, almost everyone misses this pass up to a guy on the upper platform. It's a really nice one to make, and it usually beats trying to run it back through mid or around the side. The alternative here does work well, though, passing to Soya because he's an assassin, and always a good choice for a ball carrier. Soya there showing off two of his really good skills, the sprint and the tech/force immunity. And he makes a nice courteous pass to me here. Didn't have to do that, but it was nice of him. So we both get points. I say that he doesn't have to do that. Often it's a good idea, even if you don't think anyone's behind you, because you never know when someone's going to pull you back. Here I go ahead and open on the tank, even though it fills his resolve bar. There's enough of us around. We can probably burn him down. They're light on healers this match. Here I get rooted and stunned. My team's helping me out. I managed to get the ball off to Soya. And I think because of, again, because of Cause's static barrier, or someone's that may have been, that was probably Cause's. I managed to actually survive and rejoin the play here. The commando, or whoever was grab spamming there, should have been focusing on the ball carrier instead of on me. Falconus there runs away from the pass. He was probably AFK this whole match. Thanks a lot, Falconus. And yeah, his stats certainly make it look like Falconus was standing in that corner doing nothing the whole match. So it was 7v8, and we still won with some good team play. Hope you enjoyed it. Some demonstration there, and maybe I'll do some more later.